Welcome to another episode of the Cubs Line Podcast. I'm Ryan Dunleavy.
And I'm Ron Zolnski.
And today the Cubs beat the Mets by a score of 10-3 in Game 2 of the series, highlighted by Matt Shaw home run and a Michael Busch home run. Big game for the Cubs. The bats woke up. Ryan, what were your overall thoughts from the ball game today?
After the disaster yesterday, it's good to respond like that. You really can't lose any more games like that. Like they did yesterday. From here on out, regular season and playoffs, that's just inexcusable from here on out. Able to respond big, so that's good. Get a big win. Also adding a Padres loss, the magic number to clinch home field is now 2. So the Cubs could win 2 of their next 4. The Padres could lose, and the Cubs could win 1. So feeling pretty good about that. But yeah, it was a good game tonight.
Yeah, for sure. And another good thing was Matthew Boyd looked good. A couple very rough starts for him. So to get him back on track is huge.
Yeah, for sure.
So before we get into talking Cubs, I want to talk a little bit about the Padres and the Dodgers as they clinch tonight that the Cubs will either play either of them. For the Dodgers, it will probably be Yamamoto or Glasnow/Snell. So those are the three pitchers the Cubs will see. And then for the Padres, it'll be Cease, Darvish, and then either Nick Pivetta or it will be, I think, Michael King. So either of those are all really good pitchers. So it's going to be tough for the Cubs, but I like who they have them out on the mound as well. And then talk a little bit about some of the Dodger studs. Obviously, Shohei Ohtani. And in the infield, you got Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Max Muncy. And then the outfield, rounding it out, they got Teoscar Hernandez, Michael Conforto, and Andy Pages. Some very good players on that ball club. I believe Will Smith is hurt right now, so Dalton Rushing is doing the catching for them. And then for the Padres, you got Luis Arraez, Xander Bogaerts, Jake Cronenworth, Manny Machado, Ryan O'Hearn, Jose Iglesias, one of the best infields in the league. And then the outfield, you got Merrill, Sheets, Tatis. Laureano just went down with an injury, which is big loss for San Diego. And not to mention San Diego is one of the best bullpens in the league. Robert Suarez, Mason Miller, Yuki Matsui, a very solid bullpen. But the Dodgers, they rely more on their starting pitching, but Kershaw and Ohtani will be moving to the bullpen, which will be big helps for them. But Blake Trinan, Kirby Yates, and closer Tanner Scott have really failed this bullpen, so a lot of young guys have had to step up. Ryan, who do you have more confidence in playing in that first round?
They're both tough. So right now, the main focus is playing at Wrigley. But I think right now I have a little bit more confidence in playing San Diego just because of the star power in Los Angeles. Just every player on the diamond is a superstar. So I think I have more confidence in San Diego. I definitely think they can win both, but I think they can also lose both. So I'm not like comfortable with any, but I think I'd rather play San Diego.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. Another factor is the Dodgers fans travel very well. San Diego fans are still big, but not as crazy as Dodgers fans, and I think we'll see less Padres fans at Wrigley Field than we will Dodgers fans. So that's another big factor. So before we get into today's episode, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Mark's Card Shop. Thank you for sponsoring today's episode. Make sure to go check them out in Downers Grove, Illinois, and check out their website at markscardshop.com. We'll get into yesterday's ball game as the Cubs lost a dreadful one, 9-7. Blew a 6-1 lead. Edwin Diaz with a 6-out save, recording 4 of those outs by strikeout. Just a very rough game for the Cubs, and surprisingly enough, this game was not on the bats. It was on the pitching and specifically the bullpen. Blew this game late. So we'll get right into the recap. Second pitch of the game, Cade Horton serves one up right down the middle. Lindor takes it to the opposite field on a line drive. His 29th homer on the year. Were you kind of down after this, or how were you feeling after the Lindor homer?
It was like what, the third pitch of the game, second pitch of the game. I didn't really care too much. Obviously I was upset that he gave up the homer, but there's still more baseball to be played.
Yeah, 100%. Then after that, Soto hit a single, but then after that, Cade gets out of it with a flyout or 2 flyouts and a strikeout. Bottom of the first, Nico gets it going with an opposite field single. Happer strikes out, but Nico steals second. Suzuki grounds out. Carson Kelly walks and steals a bag, and then Carlos Santana doubles. his first extra base hit as a Cub, opposite field. He gets a outside curveball from Peterson, and he drives this ball into the gap. Soto misplays it, allowing Nico Horner and Carson Kelly both to score. How big was this knock for Carlos Santana, just for his morale and everything after starting being a Cub, I believe, 1 for 18.
Yeah, I mean, it was huge for him. He knows he's fighting for a spot on the postseason roster. So, we talked about on Sunday's show how he's been just like terrible. But yeah, I think it was pretty big for just his mindset, knowing he's fighting for a spot on the roster. I still think it's up in the air. So yeah, that's just big for just his mind to get back into, you know, like all right, let's go, let's do this kind of mood. But yeah, a big moment here for him early in the game.
Yeah, Santana doesn't score those. Dansby grounds out, and then top of the second inning, Cade Horton builds off this big inning with a line out, fly out, and line out. Then bottom of the second inning, Justin Turner leadoff walk, and then Matt Shaw follows that with a sharp single, 101 off the bat. So 2 runners on, then PCA with the sac bunt. Personally, I love this call to sac bunt PCA. You got Nico Horner, who's been super hot, and Ian Happ, who's been hot as well, and you set up runners in scoring position for them, and I'll sacrifice it out there. What about you? I really like this call.
Yeah, I loved it. We've been preaching small ball, every episode. So I loved this. I loved this move, and yeah, like you said, bringing up Nico and Ian Happ for guys in scoring position. It was a great call.
Yeah, and PCA is a very good bunter as well. And then Nico capitalizes, hits a rope of a single to left field. Uh, they scored Justin Turner. Matt Shaw went to third, so the Cubs had runners on the corners. Then Ian Happ smokes the ball down the line, 109 miles an hour off the bat. His 30th double on the year makes it a 5-1 Cubs lead as Shaw and Nico both come around on this Ian Happ double. But Cubs can't get anything after that after Brosbond came in the game. Suzuki striked out and Kelly ground out. But how big was this just for the morale to score 5 runs early against David Peterson?
Huge. Like again, like I said, they had just a terrible, 4 games out in Cincinnati. I mean, they barely scored any runs all weekend, so it was big for them to, come into this series against a Mets team who, again, like we said, is going to throw everything at you. Scoring 5 runs in the first couple innings, I mean, that's a response.
Yeah, 100%. And then after that, top of the third inning, Cade Horton, another 1-2-3 inning, but that would be it for him as he was dealing with some sickness and some back problems. Got an MRI today just to be safe, but I don't think much of it. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, it was like back spasms or something, and usually, like what we see with back spasms, like in the professional sports world, is I mean, it's just like some rest in a couple of days, and you're almost 100, if not 100. But yeah, I'm not that worried. But this also means he's probably not going to pitch Sunday, so that means he's going to be readily available for Tuesday or Wednesday if they want to give him a go, which they obviously should.
100%. Bottom of the third inning, Cubs go down 1-2-3 as Michael Bush came in to pinch hit for Santana. And then top of the fourth is where things start to get interesting. Soroka gets the first 2 outs, gives up a single, but gets out of it. And then bottom of the fourth, Shaw strikes out, PCA hits a single, Nico grounds into a force out, but then Ian Happ hits into a fielder's choice. And one thing the Mets can hit, they can pitch, but they cannot play the field. So many errors from the Mets this year, just very rough defensively, and that costs them a run, makes it a 6-1 Cubs lead. And then top of the fifth inning, Starling Marte hits a leadoff single. McNeil pops out. Alvarez reaches on an error by Dansby Swanson. Then Lindor hits a RBI ground out, makes it a 6-2 game. Soto walks, and this loads the bases for the big polar, or puts 2 runners on for the polar bear, Pete Alonso. He hits a ball 112 off the bat. Personally, I thought it was gone, but it goes right off the wall and takes a good hop. So only one run comes across, but it makes it a 6-3 game. And then after that, Taylor Rogers came into the game, and Brandon Nimmo hits a home run on a slider right down the line. How frustrated were you after this?
I mean, you just can't throw that pitch. Like again, I thought they were gonna. I mean, just cruise in this game, but obviously that's not what happened. Yeah, he comes in, he throws the sweeper, 76 miles an hour, literally the exact same spot as the first one, and Nimmo made him pay.
Yeah, Rogers gets out of it, but he's given up way too many home runs, and he's a guy who's in some trouble making this playoff roster. I doubt he will, but we'll see how it all shakes out. Bottom of the fifth, Stanek comes in, walks Bush, but then he gets out of it. Top of the sixth, McNeil hits a two-out double. Pomeranz comes in, gives up a walk, and then Lindor hits a single to make it a 7-6 lead for the Mets. And I don't know about you, but I'm slowly starting to lose some trust in Pomeranz.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly have been on like I'm not gonna lie, I've been losing some trust in Pomerantz like for the probably
Oh,
last,
yeah.
last couple months. So I mean, every time he goes in there, I'm always worried.
Yeah. And then bottom of the sixth, Soto comes in. Nico hits a two-out single. Happer walks, and then, or actually, this was Tyler Rogers, the brother of Taylor Rogers, came into the game, relieved Soto after Soto gave out a two-out single to Nico, and then Happer walks. Suzuki hits a single, 109 to center field, makes it a 7-7 game. How big was this hit for Seiya Suzuki?
Huge. I mean, picks up your bullpen, right? They blew this game away. You're down 7-6 after being up 6-1. He comes in. He's been kind of cold lately. We've been waiting for him to, find his mojo, and I mean, this is a huge hit to tie the game back up again after being down or after being up 6-1, go down 7-6 to be able to pick the team back up, tie the game. It's huge.
Yeah, Suzuki's a guy that needs to get hot before the playoffs because he can be a game changer for the Cubs if he gets hot. Top of the seventh, Kittredge comes in 1-2-3 inning. Bottom of the seventh, Bushy grounds out. Dansby grounds out. JT hits a single, just on a little blooper, but a great job from JT. Alcantara comes in, steals the bag. He's fired up. Matty Shaw walks. Rayleigh comes in, lefty lefty, gets the strikeout on PCA. Top of the eighth inning, Alcantara remains in the game. Fieldbar comes in, gives up a single, and then Beatty or Acuna comes in to run. Marte attempts to bunt but fouls out. McNeil lines out. Acuna steals bag, and then Fernando Alvarez hits what maybe is the biggest swing in the season for the Mets. Two-run homer. The ball was smoked 403 feet. How frustrated were you after this hit? Because I know I was pretty frustrated. I couldn't even watch the end of the game.
Uh, this is like the picture of Batman on his knees in the rain, like this. That's pretty much what I was doing when this homer was hit. I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I was so frustrated. Nothing you can do if you're Thielbar there. But rough night for the bullpen. Bottom of the eighth inning, Diaz comes in, strikeout, line out. Top of the ninth, Jordan Wicks comes in. He gives up a ground out, strikeout, single, ground out. So good job from Wixie. And strikeout. So Edwin Diaz struck out 5 out of the 6 batters he faced in a 6-out save. How frustrated were you? The Cubs couldn't. I know Diaz is very good, but I feel like you could have had a better effort at least.
I mean, you could have, but after blowing a 6-1 lead, there's no like, the offense scored 7 runs. I mean, I'm not gonna be like, oh, you should have put up 3 on Edwin Diaz. Like, it is what it is. Your bullpen blew the game away, and that's not on the bats at all.
100%. That was the one positive that the bats looked good. We'll go into the Cubs pitching. Cade Horton looked good as of always. If that was it for his rookie campaign, he had one hell of a rookie year. 3 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned, no walks, 2 strikeouts, gave up a homer, 2.67 ERA. Soroka comes in for an inning, 2/3, 3 hits, 4 runs. None of them are earned, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, down to 4.6 ERA. I don't know about you, but I think Soroka's another guy that's in danger of not making this playoff roster. And I know you guys want to go out there and say, "Oh yeah, we traded all these prospects." Nothing you could do. He got hurt the second inning, and he didn't look the same. Like injuries can really kill you, and especially at the end of the season. I mean, you saw this from Porter Hodge. Came back, didn't look the same. So I know it's a big swing and miss for the Cubs, but there's nothing you can do if you're Soroka. Taylor Rogers comes in the game, an inning, 2 hits, 2 runs. They were both in. Got a strikeout, gave up a homer. 3.44 ERA, blown save, his second on the year. Pomeranz comes in for a third of an inning, gives up a hit, a walk, a strikeout. He's now at 2.28 ERA. Kittredge comes in, gets a clean inning, including a strikeout, 3.46 ERA. Thielbar gets the loss. He's now 3-4 on the year. He won an inning, 2 hits, 2 runs, and they were both earned. No walks, no strikeouts, gave up a homer, 2.22 ERA. Wicks comes in for an inning, gives up 1 hit, nothing besides that, walks one batter, now at a 4.94 ERA. Bullpen, not good at all. They gave up 8 runs on 9 hits. They only recorded, I believe, 5 strikeouts, so a very rough night and way too many home runs given up. Player of the game for me is Edwin Diaz. 6 up, 6 down, 5 strikeouts. But who's your player of the game?
I mean, yeah, I mean that's the player of the game in a whole. But for the Cubs, I'm going Nico Horner.
Yeah, Nico's been great and 5 for 3 with 4 runs. He's fighting for a batting title. So Cubs would wash this game away today. So Ryan, you want to get into today's recap? A pretty fun game to recap and a lot better than yesterday.
Yeah, it was with the ESPN main crew on the call. The Cubs. I feel like the only Chicago team that always dominates on national TV is the Cubs. Like I feel like every Sunday night game they either win or they're very close. Other than that, like the Bears, all like they suck on national TV. But Cubs win 10-3. They get to 89-69. One win from 90, and I think if you're considered a good team in history, you need 90 wins. I didn't think that was going to be at all a problem during the middle of the season, but it got kind of interesting after that Cincinnati series. So yeah,
Little
the
comment
Mets.
before we get into the game. ESPN broadcast sucks. They were calling Michael Bush Matthew Bush the entire. They're like, "Oh, Matthew Bush with a home run."
I know, seriously, like
Dude, he's one of the best first basemen in the game. Get his name correct at least. Like, show
I
you
know,
care somewhat, and you're not just there for a paycheck.
I know, seriously, like it's gonna be so funny though. Like, so Ravitch, I mean, he's good. Like his voice sounds good with baseball and everything, but like just the crews eh. But like with the people they bring in for the playoff series, like Michael Kay does ESPN during the playoffs, like Sean McDonough, the guy who does the NHL and college football, like he does baseball during the playoffs. Like it's just so weird, like who they bring in. So it'll be interesting
A
how
guy who's
they
on
are.
there, Alex Cohen. He's a go. I got to talk to him again today, actually, on a marquee sports seminar. I got to talk to Cohen, ask him some questions and stuff. So super cool guy, and he's a guy that really cares about the Cubs. Like, just a story. His first 2 years is just getting in the game of baseball. He was actually a mascot. If you guys didn't know that, and on his off days when he was with the Iowa Cubs for 6 years, he scheduled flights, meals, everything for them on top of broadcasting. And he would come to Chicago on his off days to watch the Cubs. Just super dedicated to the team, and I love to see it.
Yeah, I mean he's a true Cubs fan, right? Like I honestly think him at like ESPN like taking Boog's spot would be so much better just because of his energy. I mean, obviously like you would like to see him only be a Cubs announcer because he's like the true Cubs fan, but like I just think he's better than Boog in all aspects, honestly.
I agree. Shout out to Alex.
Yeah, shout
I
out
like
to
Boog too.
Alex.
I like Boog too. He's a nice guy.
I do too. I think Boog's great, but I like Alex Cohen just the energy, and again, he's a true Cubs fan.
100%.
Yeah, so again, so the Mets dropped to 81-77. I believe they are staying in the last wild card spot because the Reds lost tonight. Yeah, they lost four. The Reds lost again 4-3 to Pittsburgh in extra innings. So that's a huge loss for Cincinnati. I can't believe. I mean, save some of these losses for the Cubs over the weekend, man. Come on. Um, but yeah, so a big response for the Cubs here. This is kind of, I mean, this is a must win, honestly. After the disaster yesterday, the magic number being for clinching home field has stayed at 4 since like I think Thursday. So yeah, I mean, this is really considered a must win. And Matthew Boyd looked like midseason form tonight. He was really good. Top of the first inning, Mets go down 1-2-3. Bottom of the first, Michael Bush doubles into the right center gap. That was good to see from Bushy leading off the game. And then Nico Horner walks. So first and second, nobody out. Ian Happ battles. It was a really good at bat. 8 pitches, but he strikes out on a pretty nasty changeup from Jonah Tong on 3-2. Then Mo Baller singles into center. Michael Bush gets tossed at home. I mean, it was a really good throw from Taylor out in center. I mean, I just feel like you got to get there. You know, it was a pretty softly hit ground ball. And with Michael Bush, he's not the slowest guy ever, so you got to get there. But yeah, so that was the second out of the inning, and then Seiya grounded to third to end the inning. And then on the top of the second, the Mets go down 1-2-3. Bottom of the second, Cubs do also. Top of the third, Alvarez leads off with a walk, but then McNeil fly out, Taylor fly out, and door ground out ends that inning. Bottom of the third, Matt Shaw singles to lead off the inning. Then Michael Bush walks. Nico Horner singles. They hold Matt Shaw at third. Bases loaded. Nobody out. Ian Happ hits a double to right field. Matt Shaw and Michael Bush come in to score. Nico gets to third, so Cubs lead 2-0. Then Mo Baller singles to left. Nico scores. Happ goes to third, makes it 3-0. Seiya doubles. Happ scores. Mo Baller held at third, 4-0. Then Carson Kelly strikes out for the second out of the inning, I believe. No, sorry, the first out of the inning. Um, Carson Kelly strikes out for the first out of the inning. PCA hits a sac fly to score Mo Baller, makes it 5-0, and then Dansby strikes out. So I believe they've hit one, two, three, four, five, 6 guys before recording it out. I mean, that's pretty impressive right there. So the Cubs walk away with 5 runs in this inning. I mean, how confident were you after this inning?
If I'm be honest, I wasn't too confident because of yesterday.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. I'm not gonna lie.
Was on the edge of my seat the entire game. I wasn't secured the win until the final pitch. Um, but a point I want to bring up is it's not like they're hitting off bums. Like Jonah Tong has dominated almost every team he's gone against, and David Peterson has like a 2.9 ERA. So they're not hitting against just bums like the Cardinals. Like that clown they're gonna face this weekend, Michaelis. Like they hit off him earlier in the year. He sucks. That's what they should do. But hitting off of Tong and Peterson are two legit pitchers. So I was glad to see that.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, I mean, you said it best. Like, they're hitting against pretty solid arms, which they're gonna see next week. So why not, get it going now and bring that into next week.
100%.
So on the top of the fourth inning, Mets go down 1-2-3 again. Bottom of the fourth, Matt Shaw leads off the inning against Lovelady with a homer. Makes it 6-0. Pretty good for Matt Shaw. Following up the 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 backlash yesterday. Hitting one out to make it 6-0. It was pretty sick. I still love Matt Shaw, so that was pretty cool moment for him. Top of the fifth inning, Vientos leads off with a single, then Nimmo strikes out, and then Alvarez hits another home run to left field. It was 413 feet, a no doubter. I mean, what's with Alvarez and all of a sudden becoming a power hitter here, Wrigley?
He always has been. I mean, he was the number one prospect in baseball at one point, if you don't remember. But I mean, he can play when he wants to. Like you've seen, he was in AAA because he wasn't playing hard, so he plays when he wants to.
Exactly. Yeah, when he really wants to. I mean, he's a really good ball player. So then McNeil's hit by a pitch. Aaron Taylor lines out. Then Francisco Lindor flies out to end the inning. Bottom of the fifth, Mo Baller walks, and then that was the end of the day for Lovelady. Holmes comes in for the Mets. Suzuki grounds out. Kelly grounds out. Mo Baller scores on an air PCA. It's a throw. So PCA reaches on a throwing error by Mark Vientos. PCA then goes to second. Mo Baller comes in to score, makes it 7-2, and then PCA all the way from second scores on a wild pitch. This is wild. The pitch gets by Alvarez. Alvarez just kind of walks to it, has his back turned. PCA notices that Holmes is still on the mound, not really paying attention. Alvarez is just kind of chopping his feet, and he goes full speed, full throttle to the plate. He scores. I mean, the only time I've really ever seen someone score from second on a wild pitch in the MLB is in Game 7 in 2016 against, or not against, with when Jason Kipnis scored. But other than that, I really feel like I haven't seen it.
As I just said, Francisco Alvarez plays when he wants to, and clearly he did not want to play during.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, he just looked like he did not care at all on this play, and I can't wait to hear Frank the Tank's reaction to this one.
Not to take away from PCA, that's great hustle, and I mean, it,
Yeah, and a good awareness too.
what PCA does, he hustles, he uses his speed as a weapon.
Yeah, for sure. So Dansby then grounds out to end this inning, but I mean to go up 8-2, like this is kind of when I was pretty confident. Still wasn't like, all right, we got this, but I feel like I was a lot more confident at 8-2. Then Boyd throws to Soto. He pops out. That's the end of the night for Juan Soto. I mean, couldn't have asked for a better game from Matthew Boyd. You're not asking for seven scoreless in a game like this. You're just asking for him to keep a comfortable lead, throw, 6 innings to just, save these pitches for next week, but also get back in form because he really hasn't been lately. And then Daniel Palencia comes in, gets Alonso to line out and Marte to strike out. Good to see Danny P, back on the mound and pitching well.
100%. And another thing is that I had my fingers crossed, but it's looking good for Kyle Tucker. Should be making his return to the lineup this weekend. Jordan Wicks, I believe that was his last transaction of the year, so he is now in the Arizona Complex League just to finish the remainder of the year. But I'm super glad we got Danny P back, and he looked good tonight. So I think he'll be pitching some big innings in the following week for the Cubs.
Yeah, I mean, real quick, a kind of quick question here. Do you think that they're gonna try to throw him, maybe every day, or like, what do they have? 4 games left, like 3 out of the 4, and then on come Tuesday, he's the closer.
I think they're going to try and throw him a lot, not to be a closer, but to pitch big innings. I think they'll stick with Keller and Kittredge, but maybe as a seventh or eighth inning man. But I was actually thinking the same thing as you. Get him ramped up, work the speed. St. Louis, obviously, they're not the best team, but they're not the worst team. So still some legit bats in that lineup. So I think to get Daniel Palencia up to speed would be very helpful to pitch him in a few of these games.
Yeah, I agree, and I wouldn't even be opposed to him being the closer if that's what they do come up with. I'd be completely fine with it. I mean, I do think that he's going to be maybe the seventh, eighth inning guy, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he's back in that closer role, and if he's pitching well, why not, right?
Why not? I mean, you got to play the hot hand. That's the whole name of the playoffs.
Exactly. So in the bottom of the 6th inning, Mania comes in for the Mets. Matt Shaw leads off the single, and then he steals second. Michael Bush hits one to right center, 376 feet, 2-run shot, 10-2.
Before you
Michael
get into
Bush,
that, I just saw a comment from the post game presser, which I thought was pretty funny. I don't know if you saw this, but PCA was like, on his stolen home plate, he's like, I was able to scan the field like our boy Caleb does.
heck yeah, man.
It's pretty funny.
I really wish I lived by a wiener circle. I would have got myself a free hot dog yesterday.
So what I have.
So yeah, Michael Bush homers 376 feet to right center. Matt Shaw comes in to score two, so it's 10-2 Cubbies. This is again when I feel like I was like, all right, we probably got this game. I wasn't gonna fully say it, but I felt pretty confident. Nico pops out, Ian grounds out, and then Mo Baller strikes out. Top of the 7th inning. Nimmo with a 1-out single. Savali pitching for the Cubs. Nimmo with a 1-out single. Other than that, they don't do anything. Bottom of the 7th, Cubs go down 1-2-3. Top of the 8th inning, Juan Soto hits a 2-out, 397-foot home run to center field. I mean, it was, this isn't really groundbreaking. Chris Paul cuts a big three to make it 42. This is a kind of whatever home run. Carl Ravitch got oddly hyped up for no reason. He was like, "And that ball's gone." And I was like,
Oh,
"Dude,
I was actually just gonna bring that up. He's like, and Juan Soto hits a home run. He's talking like it's a tie
yeah,
ball game. And it's
I know."
making it 10-3, like big difference, dude. I
Yeah,
mean,
I was like, "Dude, why are you so hyped right now? Like, where's this hype?" And
I think we know someone's a Mets fan.
yeah, seriously.
Matthew Bush hits a home run, his 31st on the year. The only other guys to do that since Kyle Schwarber and Chris Bryant. Not a big deal, Matthew Bush, but you're gonna hype up Juan Soto 10-3 homer like
Matthew Bush, Michael Shaw. Imagine they called him like Michael Shaw or something,
that'd be
dude.
terrible.
So yeah, so in the bottom of the 8th inning, Dansby leadoff single. Nothing comes of that for the Cubs. And then the top of the 9th inning, um, Aaron Savali stays in. Marte ground out. Vientos ground out. Nimmo ground out. Um, I mean, what final thoughts on this game before I get into the pitching?
Great bounce back win, and the Cubs need to ride this momentum, and the bats need to keep going because I think if the bats can ride, the Cubs can have a legitimate chance in this playoffs. I think they're going to get three good starts, and as long as the bats are alive, I'm happy.
Yeah, I agree. So so for the pitching, Matthew Boyd now 14-8. He gets the win. He goes 5 1/3, 2 hits, 2 runs. They were all earned. 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. He threw 86 pitches. He's at a 3.21 ERA. Danny P comes in for 2/3 of an inning, no hits, no runs, no walks, a strikeout. He threw 10 pitches. He's at a 2.96 ERA. And then Eric Savali gets the save. Don't know why it's a
I
save.
think he went over 3 innings, and it was maybe a 4-run game when he went in. They did that with
Oh,
a couple weeks ago as well.
that's right. It probably wasn't. Yeah, I think he came in when it was 6-2, maybe. But yeah, anyway, he
Yeah.
he 2 hits in 3 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, no walks, 3 strikeouts. He threw 40 pitches. He had a 4.85 ERA. My player of the game is probably gonna be. I'll go Michael Bush.
My player of the game for this ball game, you could give it to a lot of guys, honestly. When you're putting up 10 runs, it could go to a lot of guys, but kind of a sneak pick. I'm gonna go Mo Baller. I believe he was. I'm pulling up, but I just want to talk. All this guy does is hit, man. Like every time he's in the lineup, 3, 4 hits. I'll pull it up really quick. Sorry about that. I didn't have my game while I was looking at some rosters. But Mo Baller was 2 for 3 on the night with 2 runs and an RBI and a walk. Just all the guy does is hit, hit, hit. Matt Shaw also 3 for 4 with a bomb. Great night for him. But these young Cubs really progressing, and Matt Shaw needs to get hot because he's been pretty bad as of late. He was hitting 233 in his last 30, but he's hitting 320 in his last 7 games. So he needs to build that momentum, carry it on to the playoffs, assuming he'll play every game.
Yeah. So sticking on the note of Mo Baller. So, do you think he is a lock for the postseason roster? I personally do. But do you think he's a lock for the postseason roster? And then what do you think his role is going to be? Do you think he's going to be a bench bat? A guy who comes in the sixth inning when you need a comeback, or do you think he can be the five hitter?
I think he is definitely a lock for this playoff roster. I mean, just the way he's been playing and how he produces every day, I think there's no reason he doesn't make this playoff roster. And I think he's your 4 or 5 hitter. There's no reason he's not.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. So, sticking kind of on the topic of the bench, just because we were asking about Mo Baller, what do you think the bench is going to look like? So it gets cut down to 25, I believe. It's either 26 or 25. Like, what do you think the bench is going to look like? You got so many options right now, but it's got to be cut down. Who do you think makes the roster from the guys who are on the bench mostly?
So if I make a prediction, I think McGuire for sure. And then I'm gonna pull up their bench from today so I can kind of give an idea of like because it all depends on who starts. So say we go the lineup from today, I think it's McGuire for sure, and then after that, it's kind of a toss up with Santana, Castro, Alcantara. I think Turner definitely deserves a spot. Just he's been here all year, his experience. So I got JT, Reese, and then you get to pick 2, 3 between Alcantara, Castro, and Santana.
I go Kevin Alcantara and Carlos Santana.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that too because I think Alcantara is a better runner than Castro, and Castro doesn't really provide much. And I think Alcantara provides more offensively. Honestly, I don't think either guys will start a game, but Kevin Alcantara, I didn't realize he's the tallest player on the Cubs. He stands at 6 foot 6 feet tall, just a huge frame. He can hit. El Jaguar, I think he brings good vibes to this team, and I think he'd be a solid option. And then I think Santana makes it as well, just with the experience. I don't think he plays. Maybe you give him a pinch hit at bat, but I think he'll make the roster. But it's going to come down to Castro or Alcantara. My gut feeling tells me that they will go to Castro because they did pay a big price for him, but I think it should be Alcantara.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, in my brain, I think Castro takes Kevin's spot. Just because again, the deadline acquisition and what they gave up for him, and he can play seven positions. But I think Kevin is the better move here, but I just don't think they're gonna go with him.
Yeah, I agree with that. The only reason for Castro is if for some reason Dansby or Nico went down, you don't have another guy that could play the middle infield. So you kind of
Yeah,
need him on the roster.
yeah, for sure.
And he has a
So,
and he can hit from both sides. But I'm going to be pretty pissed off if he's pinch hitting because there's no reason he should be a pinch hitter.
yeah, I mean, if you've got JT on the bench or Willie Castro, and you go Willie Castro, I mean, that's just bad. Like if that were to happen, I mean, that's just terrible.
Yeah, I agree with that. That should not happen.
Yeah, so sticking on the postseason roster topic, who do you think gets cut and does not make the playoff roster from the bullpen?
All right, these are the guys that I think are locked right now. Obviously, Matthew Boyd, Cade Horton, Shota Imanaga, and then Jameson Tyon. I think that Caleb Thielbar has done more than enough to earn a spot. I think Palencia, Kittridge, Keller. So that leaves you at 8 out of, I think, 12.
I think C Ray goes to the bullpen in the playoffs, honestly.
I was just going to say that. You took my line. I think Colin Ray 100% earned a spot. He'll move to the bullpen. So then I believe that's 8 guys, and you have 13 spots, or no, 12 spots. So I think you go Pomeranz because he's been serviceable. I think you go Savali and then Assad. And then for your final spot, Soroka. And I think you leave Taylor Rogers off of it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
From a 28, wait, you go from a 28 man to a 25. So if you're cutting Kevin or Willie, that leaves you at that leaves you with 2 guys you need to cut still. So I think Rogers has to be one of them. I think the other guy. Who would you rather have, Assad, Savali, or Soroka? Pick 2 out of 3.
I think Savali deserves it. Honestly, he's pitched really well, and I'm very confident in his ability. So I think him and it's just so hard. Like I'm
I
probably
think
gonna.
Savali for sure. I think Savali, and I think you got to go Assad, man. I mean, he's been
I
with the
was
Cubs.
yeah
I think you got to go Savali and Assad and bite the bullet of Soroka. I
yeah
mean,
I agree.
even though he has a 1.35 ERA as a Cub in 6 2/3 of an inning, it's only allowed 4 hits, like very under the weather. But I would way rather have Savali. He's a veteran. He has playoff experience. Only argue with Assad and Soroka is Soroka's won a World Series before. Assad hasn't pitched in a playoff game, so we don't know. I don't think either guys will pitch, but I'd rather have Assad around for the vibes because
Yeah,
Assad
I
is
agree.
Cubs. I mean, just overall really good dude.
Yeah. So well, let's take a look at tomorrow's preview. So the rubber match of the series, Mets desperately need a win. Cubs, with a win, can move that magic number down to 1. So that would, I mean,
No
knock
Padres
on.
tomorrow. Just FYI, no Padres game tomorrow.
Yeah. So we.
From the Brewers, but the Brewers pitched a guy that hadn't pitched in a major league game, I believe, in 2 years. Chad Patrick, who was coming off the injury reserve, and then I think Priester in game 1, maybe. So not a lot of competition for the Padres.
Yeah. So no Padres game tomorrow. So we cannot clinch home field tomorrow. But the win would cut it down to 1, and then I mean, if the Cubs win one or the Padres lose one over the weekend, the Cubs get home field. So a win tomorrow, and I feel like home field is pretty much a lock. But it's going to be a tough game. You got Shota Imanaga versus Nolan McLean. I mean, Nolan McLean has been really good. He's 4-1, a 1.27.
One thing before you keep going on, sorry about that, but
You're
Big Dumper hit his 60th home run of the year from the left side, and he has become the 4th player in American League history to hit 60 home runs. So if he could somehow 3 homers in 3-game series to finish off the year, he will tie Aaron Judge for the record.
I mean, I just I think he's done enough to win the MVP.
So do I. 60 home run season as a catcher from both sides, like, there's no way he doesn't.
I mean, the people who say Judge are just Yankee fans and people who just don't really understand the game to that point.
They're chanting MVP in the background. MVP,
I love
1,000
it.
bases. He deserves it, man.
Yeah.
I There's no reason he doesn't.
Yeah.
Um,
So
you get back into it. Sorry, just some
no,
baseball
you're
history.
good.
Wanted to
Yes.
do an
So
update.
Nolan McLean, 1.27 ERA, a 101 whip, 42 and 2/3 of an inning thrown, 29 hits, 46 strikeouts, 14 walks, one homer. He's been amazing for them. I mean, they brought him up in what was it? Like
Right before
Jan-
the Little League Classic. So that was when he made his first major league start. Right before that, the day before, I think. So when was
yeah.
that? Was like
And,
a month ago, maybe.
yeah, like it was early August. I mean, I think they definitely could have brought him up earlier. I mean, he's been unbelievable. So I mean, that's not easy at all. And then Shota Imanaga, 9-7 with a 3.37 ERA and 0.96 WHIP, 139 innings thrown, 108 hits, 114 strikeouts, 25 walks, 29 homers. What is your score prediction tomorrow and keys to winning the game?
I think it's gonna be a low scale scoring affair. Two very good pitchers on the mound. My key to the game: get to McLean early. You got to play small ball. If you got to play small ball, you got to play small ball. You got to find a way to get runs across versus McLean, as he is a very good pitcher. The Mets are going to be throwing out everything they need to win this ball game. That is their responsibility. They only have 4 games left, and chances are they're probably going to have to take 3 out of 4 to secure a playoff spot because the Reds do have the tiebreaker. So they have to have a game of possession. So my keys, you got to get to them early, play small ball, and then I want to see a good start from Shota Imanaga building into the playoff start. I believe, assuming, say he goes on Tuesday, he will be on 5 days of rest. So he'll be healthy, and I wouldn't go him more than 70 pitches.
Yeah, I would cap him at 70. I mean, for Cade, he's gonna be at like 7 days rest. So that I mean he's gonna be pretty fresh. I feel like Shota might be game two, honestly.
He might be. I wouldn't be surprised if they give it to Cade. I mean, that's just the order in they're in right now, and I accept it. And
Yeah.
I want to see Cade Orton pitch game one. Like, give the Cubs fans something to cheer for. He's basically an automatic win whenever he's on the mound. If I'm going to be completely honest, just hit
Yeah,
the ball. Why not?
exactly. So yeah, so we'll take a look around the MLB.
Yeah, so some big games being played tonight, and we'll do a little standings update. We got some shift in a division tonight. So the Yankees beat the White Sox 8-1. Judge with a 2-homer game, and him and Grisham went back to back. The Angels are currently beating the Royals 3-2. Ward hit a solo shot. This game doesn't really mean nothing. The Dodgers are beating the D-backs 4-2. Pajes with the 2-run homer, but Moreno is up with runners on second and third, 1 out. Eduardo Hernandez is coming into the game, so I'll do a little recap. With 1 out, single from Marte, walk from Perdomo, Carroll with a double makes it a 4-2 game. Runners on second and third, so 1 out. Hernandez is coming in. Moreno has a chance to tie this ball game in the bottom of the eighth, so I'll be tuning into that as soon as this episode is done. Mariners are beating the Rockies 9-1 as Cal Raleigh hit his second homer of the game, 60 homers. Just a very impressive year from Raleigh and some good vibes. And I think the Mariners are a dark horse World Series winner. And then the Giants and the Cardinals are tied 3-3 in the bottom of the eighth. Devers with a solo homer. Nothing really much. Not a very important game there. Athletics are beating the Astros 6-0. Soderblom with the RBI single. Severino shoved. So the Astros are going down right now. Assuming they will play the Mariners in that. I believe it was 6-3 series.
They're
And then
out right now. They're not even in a playoff spot right now.
seriously,
Yeah,
I will
they
check that right now.
yeah, they're out. The last time
Yeah,
I
they are.
checked.
They're a half a game out of Detroit, so that will move them to a game back. So Houston's having in a playoff spot. Huge loss. That's a raw loss they cannot have.
Yeah.
The Nationals beat the Braves 4-3 in not a very important game, but James Wood with a two-homer game. The Brewers beat the Padres 3-1 finally. Brewers win when we don't need them to win, they lose when we don't need them to lose. Um, so just a very Terang hit the go-ahead double, Jansen with the solo shot. The Rays beat the Orioles 6-2. Lowe hit a solo shot. Boz tossed four hitless innings. The Guardians beat the Tigers 5-1. Ramirez with a two-run double. Valera hit his second career home run, a two-run shot, and a huge win. Puts the Guardians in a game in possession in the AL Central. If you would have told me this 3 months ago, I would have said you're crazy because the Tigers
Biggest
15-game lead.
biggest division comeback in MLB history if it is complete.
I did not know that. That is insane. The
15 and a
Pirates,
half games.
how do you oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean,
Tigers
it's
fans never can have anything good.
my one of my friends is a diehard Tigers fan. I feel horrible. I mean, as much as I'm gonna make fun of him, I feel horrible. Like, if this was the Cubs, I genuinely do not know what I would do with my life.
No. The Pirates beat the Reds 4-3 in extra innings. Horwitz hit the go-ahead double. Skeens strikes out 7 in his last start, I believe, in 2025. Pretty clear Cy Young for him. The Phillies beat the Marlins 11-1. They scored 5 runs in the 7th inning. Luzardo got the W. They hit a franchise record of 8 home runs in the game. Red Sox beat the Blue Jays 7-1. Crochet 8 scoreless innings and probably his biggest start of the year. Carlos Narvaez with a 3-run homer and Masataka Yoshida hit a solo home run, his third on the year. The Rangers beat the Twins 4-2. Josh Smith hit the game-tying homer. And then the game we were talking Angels Royals, that game completed. The Angels won that game 3-2. Tomorrow, still a very full slate. I believe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 games on tomorrow. So 24 teams playing. You got D-backs, Dodgers, Yamamoto versus Gallen. You got Blue Jays, Red Sox, Varland versus Bayo. See, Tigers, Guardians in the rubber match of that series. Parker Mesnick, the rookie, 3-0 on the year. Biggest game of his career, pitching in the rubber match of that series. Some big games on tomorrow. You got Cubbies versus the Mets in the rubber match, and then Reds versus Pirates in the rubber match at 11:40. So go watch that game while you're in school. Screw school. We'll do a little standing update. You got Cubbies, Phillies, Milwaukee, and Dodgers in San Diego all clinched in the NL, and the AL Yankees, Seattle, and Toronto are all clinched, I believe. Boston's really close to clinching, and then Cleveland, Detroit, and Houston, they're going to fight it out for those last 2 spots. And then in the NL, who knows what will happen with that last wild card spot with one spot open for grabs. It'll either go to the Mets. Arizona is only a half of a game back. So if they win tonight and they could get a comeback W, they will be in sole position of the spot because they have the tiebreaker over the Mets. So if you guys did not know,
I was just gonna
Cincinnati
say
Cincinnati is the tiebreaker over Arizona and New York, and then Arizona has the tiebreaker over the Mets. So the Mets are at the bottom of the barrel. They have to have
they
a
have to beat everybody.
yes. So these are playoff games for the Mets. They got to do everything to win. I want to check on what Moreno did. You guys will be watching this later, but just a quick update.
He infield single.
Infield single, 4-3 ball game. It looked like a ground ball to the catcher. I'm gonna watch this back, but we'll get into MLB pickle. Ryan, who's your first guest? Oh my god, it was a chopper right in front of the plate. Catcher couldn't come up with it. 4-3. Alexander Del Castro coming up with runners on the corners. Big game for the D-backs. That would be a hell
Yeah.
of a win.
I mean, how about Arizona though? I mean, they seemed as sellers at the deadline, giving Suarez Naylor away. I mean, they
Merrill
hung on.
Kelly.
Yeah, I mean, they hung on to some pieces. But like no one really thought that they would
No.
make anything out of it, and here they are. If they can cash in here, they're in possession of the wild card spot with, only a couple of days to go, so that's big. But first guy for me, let's go, Michael.
I was on that. I already guessed when I got started. Kyle Backus from Arizona, just on that Arizona
Oh, there
train.
we go.
He's from the USA and the NL West. Righty.
Let's go.
Andy Pajes.
Yep.
Righty, NL Central. Not a center fielder or a relief pitcher. We'll go Rockies. Brenton Doyle. I think he's still on the team. Not on the Rockies. Righty, USA. So he's either on San Francisco or San Diego. I'll go San Francisco first, see if it's a starting pitcher, Dylan Cease. He's on San Diego, a righty from the USA, a starting pitcher, Michael King. And Michael King is your immaculate
There we
player
go.
today. We're not going to be a San Diego fan for soon, though.
Yeah, no. Where?
Starting off, we got the Astros in Cleveland.
Astros, Cleveland.
Well, Astros Cubbies, we could do that first. Did Wisniewski ever play a game with them?
He did not. So I think the obvious
Yeah, he
answer
did.
here.
Yeah, he did. I
Oh,
got
he
it.
did?
Yep.
I didn't know if he did. Ooh, good one there.
Yep. Houston only one team. I think Framer Valdez.
Yeah,
Yep.
Fran.
Cubs and Blue Jays.
Dex never played a game. Go Miguel
I'm trying to think.
Montero.
Miguel Montero, that's a good one.
I think he.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Cubs Gold Glove. I'll go Ian Happ. Yep. All right, Cleveland and the Blue Jays. Andres Jimenez.
Del Castillo, steep sack fly tie ball game.
Oh wow. Only one team Blue Jays. Davis Schneider. Yep. Only one team Gold Glove. You got any ideas?
Oh boy.
Gold Glove from Cleveland. Did J-Ram win one?
Try it. I feel like he had to have.
He did not. I'll give it up. I'll check what the main guys were for each of them. It was Michael Brantley for Cleveland and Houston. Only one team Gold Glove Jeter. And then what else did we need?
We needed
Omar Vizquez Quell. I don't think we're going to get any of those. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today's episode. Big Cubs win. We got rubber match tomorrow. No episode tomorrow, but there will be an episode on Friday. Thank you guys for tuning in today's episode. Signing off, Ryan Dunleavy.
Ryan Zumsky.
See you guys in the next episode.